welcome back to Eford Strong. So we are on week 2 of the road to Kona, and today I'm going to be in the kitchen because I want to talk a little bit about what some people call the fourth discipline of triathlon, and that is nutrition. Now, I am not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, as I've mentioned before. I am just a regular athlete, I'm a mom, I'm just learning as I go and sharing what's working for me during Ironman training. And I just want to share some things about nutrition. Like I've mentioned, it is a really big piece of triathlon training. It's one of the most common struggles I see in just talking with other athletes or in Facebook groups that I'm in. A lot of questions revolve around what do I eat and when do I eat it? Do I need a nutritionist or a dietitian to help me work through these things? And so there's just a lot of questions around it. And I just want to share a little bit about what I'm discovering, what I'm learning, and what has been working for me. I also want to add, I'm not going to talk specifically about fueling during a long ride or a long run, 90 minutes or longer. I'm going to save that for another video because Caleb and I have a lot to talk about there. So we'll talk about that on a different video. But I just want to talk about like weekend, wake out, normal days, what you're eating. And like I mentioned, there are so many questions people are asking. And I know I've struggled with too, is like, well, how do I fuel properly, but also not gain weight? Talking with some people about like how much we eat and how do you eat all that and not gain weight? And also, you're hungry all the time. So like, should I eat every time that I'm hungry? Because I feel like I'm literally hungry all the time. Also not wanting to lose muscle, but still wanting to be lean and strong at the same time. Also not wanting to underfuel because that's when you bonk, or that's also often when people get sick, when they're underfueled, or also when people get injured, when they're just not giving their body the right nutrients that it needs. So there's just a whole lot that goes into it. And so it's a common struggle amongst a lot of people. So I just want to share a couple of things that I have been doing and things that I have found that have really been working for me. So the first one is I started using MyFitnessPal. If you're not familiar with MyFitnessPal, it is a app that is, it's a calorie counter tracker. You can also input your exercise in there as well. I have been using this, I think at least the last 12 years off and on. I do not do it consistently all the time. Every so often, I feel like I just kind of need like a little bit of a wake up call. And so I'll get back on it and I'll do it for a couple weeks, maybe a month, just as, like I mentioned, a wake up call to myself, to kind of really get a better grasp on what am I eating and how much am I eating in a day. And so I'll take, for example, Caleb and I both really like creamer in our coffee, and it was getting to a point where we're just kind of like pouring and not really even realizing how much we're putting in there. And so then when I got back on MyFitnessPal and started measuring, I was realizing I think I'm probably putting like at least 4 tablespoons of creamer in my coffee, and those are just empty calories. So I've tried to like scale back on that. And so it's just a really helpful tool to keep track of exactly how many calories I really am eating. It can be a little bit burdensome to measure things, but you get into the groove and you get used to it. You can link recipes that you found online and it imports them. So they really have come a long way to make it convenient. Caleb uses one that he pays for, where he actually can just scan the barcode and it puts it in there too. So there are other platforms you can use. I like MyFitnessPal because it is free, and it's really not that bad, but it is really helpful to see how many calories I've been eating. And it also does show macros, so I can see what percentage is carbs, what percentage is protein, and what percentage is fat, and that has just been really helpful. Okay, the next thing is to eat early and to eat often, and then also eat before workout. So I think a lot of athletes don't eat a good breakfast or go the whole morning without eating. And one of the things that I've been reading is it's really important to eat as early as possible to like break that fast and get your metabolism going again. I typically, when I first wake up, like to eat a banana. I'm usually about to go get on the bike or I'm about to go start a run. And so that's just something that I found has settled well on my stomach. And then throughout the whole rest of the day. One of the things that I was reading by Michael Erickson, he wrote the plan that I'm using from Scientific Triathlon. He advises people to eat 6 meals instead of 3 meals, just to really help regulate your sugar levels and then also just stave off hunger. That is really better if you can eat often throughout the day. So that's something that I've been trying to do, is just eat more frequently, make sure I'm eating a good breakfast, and then before and after I'm doing a workout, make sure I'm eating something then as well. And then the next thing is really trying to focus on quality and balance. So I mentioned before with the macros, looking at trying to eat a good balance of carbs and proteins and fats. And so I like MyFitnessPal for that. But also just making sure that I'm eating a good quality of things. So things that are not as processed, things that are fresh, all the things that we know to do. But I also know that can be really hard when you are on the go. You're already trying to balance a lot of things, like I mentioned last week, just all the things. You have kids and a job, and it's just, you don't have time to spend on prepping meals. I get it. So here are a few of my favorites that I just wanted to share that help me really try to focus on the quality. So go-to meals, we do a lot of scrambled eggs. We are fortunate enough that we have chickens, and so we have a plethora of eggs, but we do a lot of eggs. It's a great source of protein. Also, we do a lot of oatmeal and fruit. So like right now, strawberries in season. I'm doing a lot of oatmeal and strawberries. I also really love plain Greek yogurt. I'll add some strawberries in there as well. It's a great source of protein too. For lunch, my thing right now, I kind of go through kicks, but my thing right now is I love to make a wrap with these wraps. And then this chicken, if you have never tried the Just Bare chicken, I don't know how they do it, but it tastes just like Chick-fil-A. And it's not breaded, it's just roasted chicken breast bites, but it is delicious. So I'll take these and I'll make a wrap. Sometimes I will also add like cucumber and bell pepper and stuff. And then I take the Greek yogurt and add this everything bagel seasoning blend. They have this at Trader Joe's. I think this particular one was from Sam's. But I pour this and a little bit of the Greek yogurt, and it makes like the dressing on the sandwich, and it is really good. I also use that as a dip, like with baby carrots, I'll dip it in that. Excellent also. And then for dinner, we have just been trying to do like chicken or fish and baked potato and a vegetable as a like balanced meal. And then for snacks, this stuff is so versatile. The plain Greek yogurt. I'll mix a little of the peanut butter powder. I love this stuff as well. It tastes like peanut butter, but it's way less fat and way less calories. So I'll mix some of this in here and spread it on a rice cake. And sometimes I'll put strawberries on top. That is also a really delicious snack. And then also we have an air popper. Caleb convinced me that we should get it. I said no, but he was right. It's awesome. So we just put the kernels in there and pop it, and that's usually kind of like my before bedtime snack that I like to have. I also usually, if I'm going somewhere, try to just keep like a Luna bar or something like that in my purse, because if it ends up being I'm out longer than I expected and I can just feel my blood sugar levels crashing and I'm getting really hungry, I found that it's better for me to just eat something, even if it's like a granola bar that, maybe it's processed, but it's better than me ending up starving and then coming home and just eating the first thing that I see. So just kind of helping to stave off the hunger by eating frequently. And then the last thing is recognizing every day won't look the same and knowing that and planning for that. So for example, yesterday, Caleb and I had some time where we could get away, and we wanted to do our long ride and long run together. So we ended up doing it on the same day, which was a lot in one day, but it's just what worked for us. So we ended up doing that morning a 10-mile run, and then that afternoon we did a 3-hour bike ride. So that day we burned a lot of calories. I think, let me look back. I burned over 2,500 calories that day. So that day I ate a lot more than I did any of the days previously in the week. And that was also a day that I ate ice cream. And I think that that's really important too, and that's something that I've been reading. Michael Erickson talked in the article that I read too, is like, it's okay to treat yourself, and when you do, try to do it on a day where you do a long bike ride. So while you're on the bike, you're thinking about it, and that's like motivation and something that you look forward to, and you're not depriving yourself for long periods of time. So it gives you something to look forward to. And I knew I still had burned way more calories than I had consumed, so I didn't feel like guilty about eating the ice cream. So just recognizing days are going to look different depending on what your training load is like for that day, and kind of like plan ahead and say, okay, I'm not going to have dessert this week until Saturday when I do my long ride, and then I'm going to have ice cream. So just kind of giving yourself something to look forward to. So those are some things that I have been doing, things that I have found have been working for me so far. As the volume continues, I know I'm going to be gradually like upping my nutrition game. So I would love to hear from you. What works for you? What have you found are like your go-to meals, go-to snacks, or how do you help from feeling hungry all of the time where you were training? I would love to hear from you. Drop a note in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really sincerely hope that this has been helpful and an encouragement to you wherever you are in the triathlon journey. If you're just getting started, if you're training for an Ironman as well, I always would love to hear from you, and it would mean so much if you would give it a like. And if you haven't already subscribed, my goal is to put one of these out every week where I'm just sharing something different, how the training is going. And I guess I didn't really talk a whole lot about how the training is going for this week because I focused so much on nutrition, but I'll just very quickly say that training is going well. I'm feeling really good about it. I put in 14 hours this week, which is a little more than normal, but like I mentioned, I just wanted to do those workouts with Caleb with this week, but I just am continuing on with my swimming and doing some light threshold, like 1 minute on, 3 minutes off on the bike and the run. So nothing too crazy, just building the volume back up, and I'll be back again next week with another update, and I'll see you then.